have no inventory. It's just,
Yep.
why don't we have any inventory?
Yeah, well, well, why don't we have inventory? Well, we do. We don't have as much inventory as we do buyers, basically. Still very much a seller's market right now. They determine that based upon how many months of inventory there are currently available. And, right now there's less than 3. So that's to say, like, if you put a house up for sale, it'll be gone within those 3 months. For every one home, it'll be gone. And in a buyer's market, you're looking at 7 months or more. So what I believe drives that, and besides confidence in the economy, would be the interest rates, which, as we know, are a all-time low, and they've stayed there. Now, the credentials, I've heard, have gotten a little bit more stringent in terms of lenders, depending on which lender you speak to, but you're still looking at 3% or less in interest rates. So I think that drives a lot more buyers to the market.
Yeah, so you have a bunch of free money going into the system. You have interest rates at historical lows. So yeah, those factors seemed like they would definitely impact it. Now you would think that this spike in like deaths, I mean, there's over 100,000 corona deaths in the US, approaching, I think it's almost 125, if not north of that now. So you would think that alone, I mean, these people were living somewhere, that these houses are becoming on the market, but still, maybe it's just such a small number relative to the general population. I don't know. Just the math still doesn't seem to make sense right now. And maybe it'll be happening down the road, where 6 months from now we'll really start getting the impact when some of these welfare programs get pulled back a little bit. People can start evicting again. I mean, it just seems like there has to be some sort of adjustment in housing at some point.
Yeah, well, there was an article put out by Realtor magazine, and it spoke about how they do surveys, and it spoke about how there's a lot more people who are in apartments in communal living, and they are actually looking to get out of that because of COVID, because you're in such a small space and you're sharing, washers and dryers, and they're looking to have a place of their own. So, there's always 2 sides to every coin, right? So there might be more. From what the realtor claims, there's a lot more people who are looking right now because of COVID. Because, not in spite of COVID, but because COVID has driven them to want their own space, maybe even more space, because, I'm a mom, homeschooling, and trying to work from home during the COVID was difficult, and it's left a lot of people questioning, long term, what would fit that lifestyle. Should we go back to that? So,
especially if you're quarantined, if you're going to be quarantined at home,
mm-hmm.
and you can't travel, you can't go on cruise. I mean, who's going on a cruise anytime soon? I mean,
yeah. So you're really looking to make that space more than just livable, it's workable as well. So, if you go from a 2-bedroom apartment where, 700 square feet, and you're thinking ahead in the future, come October, November, let's say there's a second wave, then you might be preparing for those. I have a buyer right now who is actually in that situation, who he said, I couldn't do it. I need a house now more than ever. So,
wow.
If you're a parent and you have children, then that does drive you to want to have your own, and your kids don't have necessarily an outdoor space to play, or, even their own space in your home.